Hello grade 9 students, welcome back. This is video lesson number 11 and I am Madhu Vadge. We are in chapter 2, polynomials. So far in the chapter we have studied how to find the zeros of a polynomial and how to find the remainder when a polynomial divides another. In today's class, we will learn about a new theorem called factor theorem, and we will also apply it in problem solving. All questions and concepts done in the chapter are to be written along with the video in your notebooks. So let's get started. To understand factor theorem, we will have to recall remainder theorem that we studied in the previous video, which says that if p of x is a polynomial with degree greater than or equal to 1 and a is a real number, then on dividing p of x by x minus a, the remainder will be p of a. So the value of polynomial at a gives us the remainder. Now if this remainder is equal to 0 or p of a is equal to 0, then what can we say about x minus a? X minus a is the divisor. If the remainder is equal to 0, then the divisor becomes the factor of the polynomial. So x minus a is factor of p of x. In previous video, we had come across problems where we got the remainder 0. In those examples, we can say that the divisor is a factor of p of x. You can relate this to simple numbers. When you divide 25 by 5, then the quotient is 5 and the remainder is 0. And we say that 5 is a factor of 25 because it divides 25 exactly or completely. In the same way, if a polynomial x minus a divides p of x exactly, then it becomes a factor of p of x. And when will it divide exactly? When the remainder is 0. But what is the remainder? Remainder is the value of polynomial at a. So when p of a is equal to 0, then x minus a is a factor of the polynomial p of x. So now we can write down the statement for factor theorem. Let p of x be a polynomial and a be a real number. Then x minus a will be a factor of p of x if and only if p of a is equal to 0, which means the remainder, p of a is the remainder, is equal to 0. There are two things that we can imply from here. If x minus a is factor of p of x, then we can say that p of a is equal to 0. So if it is given that x minus a is a factor of p of x, then we can say that p of a is equal to 0. Or we can write this statement in reverse. If it is given that p of a is 0, or we are able to show that p of a is equal to 0 for a polynomial, then we can say x minus a is a factor. Let us now apply factor theorem in problem solving. Problem 1. Let p of x equal to x cube plus 2x square minus 5x minus 6. Find whether x plus 3 is a factor of this polynomial. To say whether x plus 3 is a factor of polynomial p of x, we need to find the remainder. And if the remainder is equal to 0, then we can say it is a factor. If it is not equal to 0, it is not a factor. Now we have learned the method of finding the remainder in previous class. So when p of x is divided by x minus a, then the remainder is p of a. So we will have to find a over here. So take the divisor. The divisor is x plus 3 and equate it to 0. So we get x equal to minus 3. So according to the theorem, a is minus 3. We can also show it like this. If I rewrite x plus 3 as x minus a, it will look like this: x minus minus 3. So this is x minus a, and you can compare the terms. So a is equal to minus 3. But the usual method is to equate the divisor to 0 and then solve and get x, which is a. Now to find the remainder, we find the value of polynomial at a, which is p of minus 3. So this is equal to, looking at the polynomial, x cube plus 2x square minus 5x minus 6. Now substituting minus 3 in place of x, minus 3 cube will be minus 27. Here you will get a plus 18 plus 15 minus 6. On adding these numbers, you'll get minus 33 plus 33 equal to 0. Since p of minus 3 is equal to 0, x minus minus 3 is a factor of p of x. So x plus 3 is a factor of p of x. Question number 2. Use the factor theorem to determine whether g of x is a factor of p of x. So p of x is the dividend polynomial, g of x is the divisor. To determine whether g of x is a factor, we will have to find out the remainder. So we use the same method to find the remainder. Equate g of x polynomial to 0. So we get x equal to 3. This is the value of a in the theorem. Now we find the remainder. The remainder will be the value of polynomial at a, which is 3. So value of polynomial at 3. Now replacing x with 3 in each term of the polynomial, we get 3 cube minus 4, 3 square plus 3 plus 6. So 27 minus 36 plus 3 plus 6. So when we add 27, 3 and 6, we get 36 minus 36, that gives us 0. So this implies x minus 3 is a factor. of p of x. Here is another problem, number 3, which is exactly similar type. Determine whether given polynomial has x plus 1 as a factor. So in this question also you have to find the remainder and check whether it is equal to 0 or not. So take the divisor x plus 1 and equate it to 0. So you get x equal to minus 1. Now we find the remainder, which is equal to the value of polynomial at minus 1. Replacing x with minus 1 in the polynomial, we get minus 1 cube minus minus 1 square minus 2 plus root 2 times minus 1 plus root 2. Now we simplify. Minus 1 cube will be minus 1. Minus 1 square will be plus 1. But there is a minus sign, so this will be minus 1 minus. Now what we will do is, instead of opening the bracket, instead of multiplying every term of the bracket with minus 1, we will multiply this minus 1 with the minus sign before the bracket. It is as good as multiplying minus 1 with minus 1. So you get plus 2 plus root 2 in the bracket plus root 2. So this is equal to minus 2 plus 2 plus root 2 plus root 2. So 2 minus 2 cancels, you are left with 2 root 2. So the remainder is 2 root 2, which is not equal to 0. So this implies x plus 1 is not a factor of the given polynomial. Problem 4 is slightly different problem than the ones we were solving earlier. Find the value of k if x minus 1 is a factor of the given polynomial. So far, what we were doing is finding p of a and showing it equal to 0, and then implying that x minus a is factor. But now in this question it's already given that x minus a is a factor. So if x minus a is a factor, it implies that p of a is 0. So we are going to use this second result in this question. So x minus 1 is a factor of p of x. This is given. Equating x minus 1 to 0, we get x equal to 1. This is the value of a. So this implies that the value of polynomial at a, that is 1, should be equal to 0. So x minus 1 is a factor of polynomial p of x, then p of 1 should be 0. So now we find the value of polynomial at 1, that is we substitute x as 1 in every term, and then we equate it to 0 and we get an equation. Solving that equation will give us k. So k times 1 square minus root 2 times 1 plus 1 is equal to 0. So we have got an equation in k. So let's solve. K minus root 2 plus 1 equal to 0. Keeping k on the left hand side, taking all other terms to the right side, we get root 2 minus 1. So value of k is root 2 minus 1. Let us try this fifth problem. If x minus a is a factor of x cube minus mx square minus 2nax plus na square, then prove that a is equal to m plus n. Sounds complicated, but the method is same. P of x is the dividend and x minus a is the divisor. So it's given that x minus a is a factor of p of x. So this implies p of a should be equal to 0. That is the remainder. So let's substitute a in the polynomial in place of x. So a cube minus m a square minus 2n a. Now remember, you are only replacing x with a, and there is already another a in the polynomial, so you don't touch that. N times a square is equal to 0. So we have an equation which we have to solve. So a cube minus m a square minus 2n a square plus n a square. Now there are some like terms here. Minus 2na square and na square can be added. That will give us minus na square. Now we will take a square in bracket because all terms have a square as a common factor. We are left with a minus m minus n equal to 0. So this implies a minus m minus n is equal to 0, or a is equal to m plus n. Since a cannot be 0, we equate a minus m minus n to 0 and get the result. We will stop the lesson here. Your assignment for today is exercise 2.4, question number 1, 2 and 3. I have already done some questions from this exercise, like the third one is already done. Also question number 3, third part is already done. And question number 1, fourth part is already done in the video lesson. Remaining questions to be done neatly in your notebook as assignment. Goodbye.